Welcome back, my name is Tomislav, and in this video I'm going to show you extremely close-up shots, but this time the tool will be spindle gouges, both continental and regular. Now throughout the video you're going to see 4 different spindle gouges. This one is continental spindle gouge, 30 mm wide, that's 1.25 inches, and all of my spindle gouges have around 35-degree nose angle, and I say around roughly because I rarely measure, and just by the look of the bevel I can tell that it's around in the ballpark that I want. So that's the bigger one. Also, this one is continental spindle gouge, but smaller, 3/4 inch, that's 19 mm or 20 mm, and also around 35-degree nose angle. And then the more traditional on round bar spindle gouge, and also around 35-degree. And I want to point out that all of my gouges have slight curve in the wings here, so I hope if I position this correctly, you should be able to see slight curve here. For me at least, makes a much better cut, and I don't like too much of a straight wings. And also, final one, I forgot to mention, this is 1/2 inch diameter, 12 mm diameter, and this one is 10 mm, that's 3/8 inch. Also around 35-degree nose angle with a curve on the wings. First I'll show you how I use spindle gouges on long grain work. So between the centers the grain is running parallel with the lathe axis. Actually, if you can look here a little bit closer, it does wander off at an angle here on the bottom part here, the grain, which is not ideal, but it will be okay for this practice piece. So let me just set up the camera. Now first I'll be using this 30 mm wide continental spindle gouge just to true up the blank or remove the corners here. And I also like to start from the wood into a void, so I don't start at the middle of the blank and then move left or right. So I always start from the right side or from the left side. So I'm keeping the spindle gouge flute is facing. If I place it like this, that's now looking at 12 o'clock, but I want to rotate it to around 2 o'clock and just go in a straight line. You can use like that, or you can use it when the flute is facing 12 o'clock, but you just have to take a little bit lighter passes. But if I position the flute at around 2 o'clock, I can be a lot more aggressive. And again, I'm going into a void, into empty space here. And I can slow this down. So now it's running at 300 RPM, just to show you. Hope you can see where the shavings are coming from. And I have to use from the middle of the flute down, because if I use from the middle up, it will be a catch, so it will bang over. Now I don't like to show that, it's not pleasant. Back with the full speed. Use smaller continental spindle gouge. This is a 3/4 inch. Same job. What you can also do is just start to remove the bulk of the corners. So like that. So you don't have to go and smooth this area immediately. Back with a big spindle gouge. Now first let's make V cuts using spindle gouge. This is 1/2 inch diameter. So the way I like to do that is close the flute once I get into the wood, once I get the point into the wood, and I can open up slightly, then go from the other side, and then back to this side. At the end of the cut I like to close the flute, so have only a very tip of the gouge in the very bottom. Now this is 10 mil spindle gouge. And I have tool rest around center height of the maybe a little bit over center height of the spindle, and if I use bigger tool then I would drop the tool rest down. So I'm always cutting at around 10 o'clock if I watch the end of the blank here as a clock face. So let's do one more here. So now I'm using 3/4 of an inch continental spindle gouge. Same procedure. I like to first close the flute and open up the bead, then I go from the other side. And let's do that slower. Again, I want to get into corner, bottom corner, with the only point of the gouge to get nice crisp bottom. Now let's turn these V grooves into coves. So still using the small 10 mil diameter spindle gouge. Again, I'm closing the flute. So now it's facing around 9 o'clock. Once I get into the wood, I can open it up to the middle. Don't go uphill here because you will tear the grain. Then go from the other side. Again, now I'm closing the flute to around 3 o'clock. Once I'm in the wood, I can open up, and I hope you can see how nice of a curly shavings I'm getting. Just get my hand out of the focus, and you watch what's happening on the horizon. You cannot see the horizon at the moment, but you can see on the bottom here outline of a cove. Now this is 1/2 inch diameter spindle gouge. Do the other side. So for the moment what I'm doing is just roughing out the cove. And now I want to smooth it out. So light cut. Just to show you from a little different point of view. So again, I'm just working out the rough profile first. And nice and gently now. And one more, and then we'll turn the bead. Let's say I want to roll a bead. I'll go above rotation, so nothing cuts, and now lift the handle up until I get the shaving, and now I can roll a bead like this. So I'm just rolling the tool around, I'm not swinging anything, and just blend into cove. Do the same here. And on this side, a little line here. And this is 10 mil spindle gouge. Again, really nice and gently go into a cove. And this one here we'll do with continental spindle gouge, 3/4 of an inch continental spindle gouge. So just take your time. There we go. Now we can also make the beads on a flat surface like this here. So again, I start above rotation, start to lift the handle, do the other side, and that's it. You can tweak it if you need to. And do the same on this side, and that's it. And you'll see that the surface here is really nice, clean. And we can do the same with the regular spindle gouges. And teeny bit of cove between the two beads. Just finesse that a little bit. There we go. Again, nice and clean. And that's for the spindle work. So I'll probably do 2 more tools with the really close-up shots, skew and scrapers, and you really don't want to miss those one as well. So thank you for watching, and see you next time.